Hear that siren? It's time to get a tutorial from Bill. Now we're going to paint a PC chassis, specifically the Deep Cool Genome Mid Tower. But you can apply this technique to whatever tower PC that exists, whether it's steel or aluminum, okay? To scuff the surface, we're going to use red Scotch-Brite pad. This is way too much for just a mid tower. You can take a scissor and cut it down into smaller pieces. PC Tech sells 3 sheets per pack on the site. Go check it out. Otherwise, you can get it from Amazon.com. All this stuff I'm going to go over, you can go from Amazon.com that ships overseas. I know I have many people that watch my videos overseas. Or Auto Body Supply Shop would have that. Now, after scuffing the surface, which creates bite adhesion for our primer coat, which we'll get to soon, after using that, you want to use a tack cloth to clean up the surface, because if you don't, you got all these little particles from the Scotch-Brite that are going to get painted over, and you don't want to do that because that's kind of a hack job. So use that tack cloth to clean up the surface before you apply the primer coat. Now, the primer coat. If you've watched my videos over the last decade, you've seen that I use SEM brand self-etching primer. This is a professional grade aerosol paint. You're only going to get it at a professional auto body supply shop, okay? You're not going to walk into your local AutoZone and find this. If you are, then props to SEM for having better distribution now. You can also get it on Amazon.com too. But this is the best primer out there available. Creates great adhesion. It dries quick. I love this stuff. You can get it in gray, black, or red. Stop squawking at me, camera. And I just love it. However, it's very toxic. You want to wear a filtered respirator mask when you use this stuff, okay? You don't want to apply it in your basement of your house or at your apartment where your tenants are going to smell it and they're going to get really pissed off. It's very toxic and smelly. Now, for the color coat, because it matches the Deep Cool logo, is PlastiKote's Engine Enamel. All right, this is probably the most durable, no, it's not probably, it is the most durable aerosol paint you're going to find on the consumer market. PlastiKote, and another brand I like is Duplicolor. Now, you'll find Rust-Oleum, maybe Krylon, but I know Rust-Oleum has their own engine enamels. It's not as good as this, all right? That stuff's left to just kind of the crappy home improvement store chains. Go with PlastiKote if you can find it, maybe at an auto parts store. The actual color specifically is 232 Chrysler Blue. It probably goes back to 70s or 80s Chrysler muscle cars, the engine block color. Now, after that, oh, here's another thing with this paint, if I haven't said it already, is you want to give it 24-hour cure time because it is an enamel paint. Now, to assemble the chassis, we're going to use copper, 100% copper rivets. Yes. Spendy, are they? Well, not so much. You can get them from PC Tech, and the reason I carry these because I think they're freaking cool. 100% copper pop rivets. Hey, especially if you're going to do a steampunk theme build, that is so cool. So that is the supplies, and next step is we're going to scuff the surface of this chassis so we can apply our primer coat. So I've spent about 10 minutes scuffing the surface of all the parts of the Deep Cool Genome chassis so we can create some adhesion to the surface before we apply our primer coat. Next, I'll take the tack cloth and I'll wipe off all the surfaces so it's clean of any of the dust. So you can see the dust right there from the Scotch-Brite. And then we can go on to applying our primer coat. Okay, all of our parts are clean with the tack cloth. We're now ready for the self-etching primer base coat. Again, you can get this at Amazon.com. Wear a filtered mask and be in a well-ventilated area. Again, it's very toxic. We're going to apply one coat in very thin layers, but make a nice consistent coat on everything and let it cure for 1 hour before we apply the color coat. Our SEM self-etching primer has cured for 1 hour, so we're now ready to apply the color coat. And I've got 2 cans of this PlastiKote Engine Enamel Chrysler Blue in case 1 can isn't going to cut it. My gut says it's not going to cut it because what I want to do is apply 3 to 4 coats of this color and do it in 5-minute intervals, meaning apply a nice consistent coat, wait 5 minutes, and apply the next coat and do it 3 to 4 times. And my gut says is that 1 can isn't going to cut it, but 2 should. I'm holding the can 12 inches away 2 consistent solid coats on right now, and I'm going to tap into the second can to do the last 2 coats, wait 5 minutes between each heavy coat, and then we'll let it cure for at least 24 hours before I handle it. But if you can wait even longer, because it is enamel paint, 48 hours would probably be more ideal before you touch and handle it.
You can be very liberal with it. Nice and thick coats.
I've applied 4 coats to our PC chassis parts with a total of 2 cans of Plasti-Kote's engine enamel paint, the Chrysler Blue. Now at this point, you personally may decide, I want to clear coat everything so it has somewhat of a wet look to it. Well, you can use Plasti-Kote's clear coat number 229, apply it the same way you applied the paint, and allow everything to cure for 36 hours. Now I'm going to go with this weathered and distressed theme, so I'm going to leave the paint as is. Our paint has air dry cured over the last 48 hours. Plasti-Kote recommends a minimum wait time of 36 hours, so waiting a little bit longer doesn't hurt at all before you handle your parts. It doesn't feel tacky or sticky, so I'd say we're ready to reassemble everything with the pop rivets. The finish feels thick, and that's what you want on a PC chassis. You want a nice thick finish because you have to screw and unscrew different components over time into the finish. I'm reassembling our chassis with an MR77 pop rivet gun by Stanley, professional grade. It has a swivel head on it for getting into tight spots, and I'm using the copper rivets. You can get pop rivets at hardware store or home improvement stores. Look for 1/8 inch sized, and the pop rivet gun has different size head inserts for different size pop rivets. So this is 1/8 inch size. And you just insert it into the hole. You're going to need to squeeze twice because it is copper. On the final squeeze, you want to pull away so you don't scratch or nick the paint. Just like that. So here it is, our deep cool G-Mill mid-tower chassis reassembled with the copper pop rivets, and it's been resprayed with Plasti-Kote's engine enamel aerosol paint. I used 2 cans to apply 4 coats. And what I like about this paint is you can be very liberal with the coats. Apply it thick and heavy, and it doesn't run like other aerosol paints that I've used. And it really offers a nice thick finish when it's cured. Well, it's again designed for applying to engine blocks on cars. And sort of has a powder coat finish to it. If you want a bit of a smoother surface finish than what I've done here and you want it to be shinier, you can use their clear coat. I skipped that because I'm doing a weathered and distressed theme with this build. By the way, you can check out where I'm going with this build. I'll post a link in the video description to my site, and you can see what I've dreamed up for this deep cool chassis. It's going to be pretty cool. Anyways, I think this paint is really great for somebody who's never painted a PC or PC chassis before, because it's very forgiving. Forgiving's a good word. Again, you can apply it thick and it doesn't run. I mean, it will run if you really apply it thick, but not like other paints I've used. So overall, it was a weekend project, 48 hours cure time. They recommend 36 hours, but I waited a little bit longer before you handle the parts. And cost-wise for paint supplies, it was around 40 bucks. You could probably shop around and find a better deal, maybe at a local auto body parts store or auto body supply store. Or just go to Amazon.com and you can get everything, including the SEM primer, which is the best primer. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I've got to get back on this project and get it done for Computex. I appreciate everybody watching and commenting and leaving their questions and all that good stuff. Welcome to any new subscribers. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. Just been super busy, as I always am. So I'm glad I could at least put something out for you. Hopefully inspire some people to grab some rattle cans and paint some stuff, mod some stuff. So over and out, and we'll see you in the next video, everybody. Thank you.